Okay, so this is part one of my final project, and for my final project I'm going to be doing knife skills and frying. I'm going to do an onion. I went ahead and peeled it and cut it already just for ease of convenience. Here's my onion. And for the knife that I will be using a San Diego knife. It is an Asian knife, and it is good for most vegetables. It has a flat, blunt top, so it doesn't get stuck in the cutting board like a typical French knife would, and it also doesn't have a thick handle like a French knife does, so it obviously doesn't cut through small bones and things along those lines. But as you stated in class, this is good for about 90% of the time to be used. It's a typical vegetable knife, and it is what I will be using. It has a flat end and then a sharp point at the end, and it's colorful because I'm a girl. But I will be showing you how to dice an onion. I'm standing with my leg back. I'm left-handed, so just keep that in mind. I have cut it in half, and the root side is facing away from me, and I'm going to cut just along the lines that are on an onion, but I'm not cutting all the way through. It's really hard to tell, but if you can kind of see, I cut all the way only to about here, so that when I do dice them, it is a lot easier and just helps me get a nice clean cut. It's also very important, I didn't do this right away, but make sure you create a claw so you don't cut yourself. It's a little bit harder for me because I have acrylic nails, but just go like that and then go along the edge so that you don't cut yourself. And I'm just going to continue on with this process, going along the lines, not going all the way up to the root. And then getting the sides, you need to be super careful about. Okay, so I went ahead and did that, as you can see. And then I'm going to take the side in which I cut off. This is not the root side. This is, like, you can see it's kind of coming up. The side that I cut. I'm going to make a claw again, and I'm going to just dice them. It makes nice, pretty. This is not julienne. Julienne is like this, just cutting it straight down. This is dicing it, so that when I fry them, they create nice little small squares. And I'm going to do one more just to help show you. Okay, and I'm going to take this excess, please. Okay, excess, and just throw this away over here. And as you can see, they're nice and diced, super fine, and it'll make it a lot easier when I am going to fry it, which is part 2 of my final project. Okay, so this is part 2 of my final exam. This is the frying portion, and what we're going to do is we are going to start out by turning on the heat. You can see I'm going to turn it down to like a medium heat, and I'm going to place my skillet over top. I'm going to put some vegetable oil in just so it doesn't burn. You can see it's nice and oiled up. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be frying onions. Now, onions have both salt and sugar in them, so it goes through caramelization and the Maillard effect. So what we're going to do is once you give it a little while to heat up, I obviously don't have a whole lot of time because it is just a short exam, but you're going to take these onions and you're going to put them into the skillet. You can hear them sizzling. So what's happening is when heat is added to the onions, the carbohydrates start to break down the carbonyl group, which is carbon with a double bond of oxygen. And what this does is this carbonyl that it breaks down combines with the amino group, which is the part of the Maillard effect. So onions have a lot of sugar in them, but they also have a lot of amino acids. So while a lot of people will say, like, I'm going to caramelize the onions, it actually goes through both the Maillard effect and the process of caramelization. So that's something that a lot of people probably don't know, but it makes it cool. In both effects, you can see where it's going to start turning brown. It's not really doing that right now. It's just kind of heating up. It's just sitting in here. So once more heat adds to it, the carbohydrate group is going to break down more. The carbonyl group is going to break down the carbons and the oxygens, and the browning will occur. You can start to see it occurring now, turning like a light brown, and for each person it varies on how much they want their onions caramelized or sauteed or even fried. The level of brown it varies, but the idea is to get them soft enough to where they're almost easy to break with your fingernails. Now, the caramelization effect is what kind of turns it brown, but the interesting thing is the Maillard effect is what keeps the flavors in. So if you ever taste a caramelized onion, it tastes completely different than sauteed onion, and that's mostly because of the Maillard effect. Now, if you look at it now, you can see it's getting a lot more brown. It's a light brown. I usually like mine a little darker brown, so I'm going to keep going. But, like I said, to each person it varies, and you just keep this process going. You can add other things to it, like I know in one of the videos the speaker added steak, which she used that to explain the Maillard effect. But that also helps here in the flavors, and it makes it super delicious, and it smells delicious. You can't really smell it right now, but I love the smell of sauteed onions. So I'm going to turn off my heat because these are done. You can hear them sizzling, and if you look at them, they've got a nice golden brown look to them, and that is how onions go through the effects of caramelization and the Maillard effect.